Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn how to set up your code editor to write execute HTML. So to download the VS Code, go to your native browser and search VS Code. Then click on the first link and download it according to your system, like Mac, Windows, etc. I'm not going to download it because I have pre-installed it. So after downloading the VS Code completely within its extra files, then you have to open CMD. In CMD, you can learn how we can create a new folder for it. So first go to a document directory or any other which you prefer. Then inside document, create a new folder using mkdir command with a name as HTML series. So after creating that HTML series, you need to go inside that folder. So to go inside that folder, we need to use the command cd again, cd HTML series. Then to open that folder HTML series in a code editor, we need to use the command code space dot. When you click, when you run that command code space dot, the respective folder will be open in the code editor, VS Code which we have downloaded. And after opening, means after open it in the VS Code, create a new file .index.html. One extension which is useful for the HTML file is the live server, which basically helps us to see the changes in the index.html file on web browser. You are installing the live server extension. You can see the option here, go live option here. So guys, you click on it to the respective HTML file will be open browser. First, open up your index.html file in VS Code. Forget to install the extra extension. VS Code already has it. To make this, to make the boilerplate code appear, simply type an exclamation mark and hit either tab or enter. Done. The code is in front of you. Now let's make down the only two things that really matter. First, the quick stuff at the top. Document HTML. This is the first line and it's the simplest. It's not an actual HTML tag. It's an instruction for the browser. It tells the browser, hey, read this document using the rules for HTML file, which is the modern standard. Without this, your page might look a little funny. Second is the HTML lang is equal to image. This is the root element. It contains everything else on the page. The set entire document lives inside this opening and closing tag. You don't use the metal addition lang is equal to English. That's an attribute that tells search engines and screen readers the primary language of the document is English. Now talk about the header section. So the header section is like the brain of your website. It holds the metadata information about the document, not content that the user actually sees of the web. So first, let's discuss about the metadata. So meta tags, you see the little meta tags, they do an important job in the background. Things like making sure your web page looks good on every device like tablet, mobile phone, etc. And defining the correct character set for every web page. Now let's discuss about the title tag. So this is the one you do to interact with your web page title. Whatever you type inside here in what shows up at the title in the browser tab. It's also the title and Google displays in every search engine, every search results. Now let's discuss about the body section. Now you can see the body text. If the header section is the head of the brain, then the body is the visible content. Everything you see on the website, the headings, the paragraphs, images, buttons, and the navigation bar, it all goes right here between the opening and closing body tags. This is where we will be spending 90% of our time coding. That's the entire HTML boilerplate in an action. You know now the difference between the hidden header tag and the visible body tag.
How we can display the text on HTML web page. We do this using a specific tag that tell the browser and search engines exactly what the text is for. We have two main types of tags for text content, headings and paragraphs. Heading tags are critical because they define the structure and hierarchy of your content. They range from H1 to H6. The H1 tag is most important. It is the main title of your web page. You should only ever have the H1 per document. From there, the number indicates the importance, creating a logical outline. For example, H2 tag, This is only for the main section or major topics smaller than H1. H3 tag used for subsections that belong under the preceding H2. H4, H5, and H6, these are four increasingly specific subpoints within your content, with H6 having the smallest font size. Remember, use these tags for structure, not just for visual styles. The browser automatically makes them to look differently, but their job is to organize your document logically. But what about the main body of your text? The details, the explanation, and the stories. For that, we use the paragraph tag, which is simply the P tag. The P tag is the workhouse for standard block level text. It's how you write to your simple sentence and paragraphs. The browser automatically adds a little bit of spacing above and below each paragraph, making your text clean and easy to read. That
How we can modify and format our text on a web page using several essential HTML tags. We will discuss these tags in group based on their similarity in text layout, like strong and bold, and or emphasize and italic, or horizontal and break rule tags. First, let's discuss the strong and bold tags. Both tags are used to make the text appear bold, but the main difference lies in their logical or semantic meaning. The strong tag is used to show the importance or seriousness of the text to both the browser and search engines. In contrast, the bold tag is used to make the text bold simply for presentational design. It carries no special importance. Next, we look at the emphasize and italic tags. Visually, both tags make the text look italicized, but like their bold counterparts, there is clear distinction. The I means italic tag is purely for presentation, often used for technical terms, foreign phrases, or a thought where the text style is different from the surrounding text. Conversely, the emphasize tag is used to give stress or emphasize to a word or phrase, indicating that the content should be pronounced or interpreted with weight. Finally, let's cover the HR and BR tags. Both are self-closing tags used to separate tags, but they perform different functions. The BR means break rule tag simply forces the content immediately following it to move to the next line, effectively creating a line break within a paragraph or text block without separating a new paragraph. Whereas the HR horizontal rule tag creates a visible horizontal line across the page, indicating a thematic break or a clear separation between sections of content. How to format text using headings and paragraphs. But what if you have a series of items like ingredients for a recipe or a steps in a process? You don't want to use the paragraph for that. Today, we are diving into HTML list, the perfect tool for organizing sequential or itemized data cleanly and efficiently. Then now jump to the different type of list we have in HTML. First type is unordered list. So unordered list created using the UL tag. Unordered means the order of the items does not matter. Think of a shopping list or a list of features. Instead, inside the UL tag, every single item gets its own item tag or li. Now let's talk about the second type, which is ordered list. So order list is basically denoted by the OL tag. Ordered means the sequence of the item does matter. This is for the ranking, step-by-step instruction, or anything that must be followed in a specific order. And now the last tag, but not the least, definition list. The definition list is basically denoted by the DL tag. This is a bit different. It's used to list terms and their corresponding descriptions or definition. It requires two internal tags. First, definition term DT for the name or title, then the definition description DD tag for the explanation. Here's a quick summary of when to use each. UL tag shopping list, menu features, blogging categories. Basically, when the order of items does not matter. But OL order list, recipes, steps in a tutorial, top 10 list, rankings, where the order of item matters. And DL definition list, glories, metadata, and facts, etc. Welcome back. Today's topic is HTML link. A link is simply a way to connect one web page to another using the anchor tag.
For a link to work, it needs an href attribute, which stands for hypertext reference. This is the destination address where the link will take you. First, let's look at the simple link. This is the most basic form of a link where you provide a destination inside the href. For example, we can create a link that says visit to my YouTube channel by pointing the href to my specific channel URL. Next, we have absolute links. These are used when you want to link to an external website. An absolute link requires a full web address, including the HTTPS. A great example is linking to google.com. Then we have relative links. Unlike absolute links, these point to files within your own project folder. It's like giving direction to another room in the same house. For example, if you want to link to your contact page or another index.html page, you would simply set the href to index.html. Now, what if you want to open a link without losing your current page? We use the target is equal to underscore blank attribute. This tells the browser to open the destination in a new tab. In our video, we use this to open the VS Code website while keeping our tutorial page open. Finally, we have jump links, which allow you to navigate to a specific section on the same page. To do this, you give an element a unique ID, like ID is equal to contact section. Then you create a link with an href that states with a hashtag like hashtag contact section. Clicking this will make the browser jump directly down to the specific part of the web page. A website without image is just a wall of text, and let's be honest, that is pretty boring. Today I am going to show you how to embed images that the right way, from basic syntax to professional SEO tips. The tag we use is img tag. Now notice something different. This is a void element, which means it is self-closing. You do not need a closing tag like you do with paragraphs or heading. It relies on two main attributes, src and alt. The src stands for source. This is the path to your image file. It can be a local file saved in your project folder like logo.png, or it can be a full URL from the internet. The alt attributes is the most important part that many beginners forget. It stands for alternative text. If your images fails to load for some reason, or if a visually impaired user is using a screen reader, this text explain what the image is. Plus, it helps search engines like Google understand your page better, which is great for your SEO. Never leave this attribute empty. You can also control the size directly in HTML using the width and height attributes. This prevents that annoying layout shifts where the text jumps around while the image is loading. Since we already covered links in the last video, here is the pro tip. You can wrap your image tag inside an anchor tag to make it clickable. Now your image acts like a button that can take users to another page.
Hey everyone, today we're building a sleek full screen video background for a web page. It's an essential skill for modern web design. We're starting with our basic index.html file, and we've already linked our style.css sheet. Now we're in the CSS file to set some universal properties. Using the asterisk star selector, we set margin 0 and padding 0 to remove any browser default spacing, and we add box sizing border box. This simple reset ensures our full screen video will truly touch all edges of the viewport. In the HTML body, the first thing we need to do is embed our video using the tag. To make this video function as a true background, we add a few key attributes directly to the tag. We need autoplay to start it automatically, loop to keep it playing continuously, and crucially, muted to ensure it works across all browsers without requiring a user click. I'm also adding a class of BG video so we can easily target it with CSS. Now, let's jump to style.css and select our .bg-video class. To make it cover the entire screen and stay behind all other content, we'll use a specific set of properties. We're setting position, fixed to lock it in place, then width 100% and height 100% to make it fill the viewport. The magic property here is object fit, cover. This ensures the video scales perfectly without distorting its aspect ratio. Finally, we set z index-1 to push it behind every other element on the page. And there you have it. Refresh the browser and you can see our beautiful video playing smoothly across the entire background. If you like the content, please consider like, share and subscribe to the channel. For any question, ask it in the comment section.
How to build professional structured table using semantic tags. Let's dive in. To start, we use the table tag. This is our main container, but to do this the right way, we are going to use t-head. This stands for table head. Inside here we create a row using the tr tag, and for our titles we use th. Unlike regular text, th or table header automatically makes your text bold and center, telling the browser this is a label. Now we move below the tab header to the body. This is where you actual data lives. Think of the t body as the heart of your table. Just like the header, we start a new row with tr, but this time we use td for our data cells. Td stands for table data. Every td you add creates a new column in that row. The key to table is the nesting. You open a row, fill it with data cells, and close that row before starting the next one. As you can see in our code, we have built a clean grid for student names, subjects, and grades. It organized, it's readable, and it's semantically correct, which is a huge win for SEO and accessibility. This is how you structure and style tables like a pro. You have now mastered the big building block of the web content. Up until now, we have been building websites that people can read and look at. But let's be honest, the internet is a two-way street. Think about your favorite sites, whether you are logging into Instagram, searching on YouTube, or ordering a pizza, you are using an HTML form. Forms are the secret source that makes a website interactive. They allow your users to talk to you and send your data and actually use your site rather than just wing it. Today I'm going to show you how to build a professional login form from a scratch and explain every single attribute you need to know. Let's dive into the code. To start, we use the form tag. Think of this as an envelope that bundles all your users' information together. Inside this tag, you'll see an attribute called action. This is a critical. It tells the browser exactly where to send the data once the user hits submit. Usually, this is a link to a server-side script. For our tutorial, we will use a hashtag as a placeholder. But in real life, this is where the magic happens behind the scenes. Now let's collect some data. We start with a label. Our label isn't just plain text, it's a helper for the user. Notice the 4 attribute. This is best practice. The value inside 4 must match the ID of the input it belongs to. This creates a buddy system. If a user clicks the label text, the browser automatically highlights the input box for them. This is a huge win for the accessibility, making your site much easier for everyone to navigate. Next is the input tag. This is where the user actually types. The most important part here is the type. For a username, we use type text, but for the password, we use the type password. This automatically masks the character with dots, keeping your user sensitive data safe. We also have the name attribute. Think of the name as the ID card for the data. When the info reaches the server says, okay, I see the value as John123. And because the name is username, I know exactly what this is. Without a name attribute, the server is blind. We also added a placeholder which provides a help hint inside the box. Finally, every form needs a go signal, the button, by setting the type to submit. We tell the form to pack up all the data and send it off. Going to take those basics and make our forms much more advanced by introducing specialized input fields. These are the tools that turn a simple login form into a professional, high-end user interface. First up is the text area. We use this single line text just isn't enough for a user response. For example, in the profile form, we are building a bio section using this tag. To set the height and width of the text area, we use the rows and calls attribute. You see this in the real world every time you write a product review or on a shopping site or a leave comment on a blog. It gives the user the space they need for a long form feedback. Next, I'll show you how to create a drop down menu. Using the select tag, we create the container, and inside it we use a option tag to display the choices. Each option has a value that is sent to the server. A perfect real world example is a country selector on a shipping address page or a language switcher. It's a great way to offer many choices without cluttering your design. Now let's look at input that accepts specific types of data. To create a field that accepts only a date, we define the type attribute as date. This is exactly how travel websites like Expedia or Airbnb let you select your check-in dates using a cleanup pop-up calendar. Similarly, we can create a color picker by defining the type as color. This allows the user to pick a specific shade from a visual color bar. You will see that used in profile customization settings where user can choose their own theme or text color. Then we have the range slider. Its creation is identical to the others. You just define the type as range. This allows user to set up a specific value by sliding a handle. In the real world, you'll likely use this on Amazon or Flipkart to filter products by a price range. In our form, we are using it to let users rate their skills level. Next, for allowing user to upload documents or images, we use a type is equal to file. This opens the user system storage to select a file. This is standard way website handle profile pictures, upload and resume submission for the job applications. Now let's talk about selection logic. To create radio buttons, we set the type to radio. These are used when a user must select only one item from a multiple choices. The classic example is a gender selection or choosing a subscription plan where you can only be basic, pro or elite. Finally, we have the checkbox. This is used for simple yes no response for selecting multiple items. In the real world, you'll see this at the bottom of almost every registration form by agreeing to the terms and conditions or subscribing to the newsletter. As we did in our form, it's created using the input tags with the type set to checkbox. We can create an HTML form with advanced features such as drop-downs, date pickers, and color pickers, along with radio buttons and checkboxes. In today's videos, we are going to see how we can make our form validated. Validation simply means that until the user satisfies specific conditions, the form will not be submitted. For now, you can see that in the form I have not entered any data, but if I try to submit it, the page just refreshes and it submits entirely without any data. So how can we stop this? To stop this, we have a powerful keyword called required. As you can see in our code, our first field is email. To make this field mandatory, we simply need to add the keyword required. Now, whenever the user does not fill in the email and tries to submit the data, the browser will not accept it. As you can see, a pop-up will come saying, please fill out this field. This makes the field necessary for the user to fill before they can submit. The next keyword is autofocus. Autofocus is basically used to highlight a specific field whenever the form loads. It tells the user which field needs to be filled first. For example, if I reload this form, you can see the pointer comes here and the outline becomes blue. The main aim of autofocus is to handle the first field whenever the form is open. The next keyword is autocomplete, which is used to give suggestion to the user for the next value in the field. Here we have used autocomplete is equal to email. So it will be giving a suggestion to the user to fill in their saved email. Also, because our input type is email, if I enter a name without @ symbol, you can see the text please include an @ in the email address. This is a built-in validation provided by the browser. Next, we are going to see how to validate our password field. First, we add the required keyword so the user cannot skip it. We can also update our placeholder to show the user exactly what is required. Minimum 8 characters, 1 numeric value and 1 capital letter. To enforce this, we use the min length attribute and set it to 8. Without 8 characters, the form will not accept the data. To check for specific characters like number or capital letters, we use the pattern attribute. Think of a pattern as a security checklist, using regular expression to check for at least one numeric value. We use the code parenthesis question mark is equal to dot star slash d. The dot and star act as a wildcard to look anywhere in the password for a digit. We then do the same for lowercase letters using square bracket small a to z close bracket and uppercase letters using square bracket capital A to capital Z close bracket. By combining these into one pattern, the browser check if the password satisfy every single condition. Moving on from the password, let's look at our short bio field. Just like before we add the required keyword, but for a text area we can also use min length. By setting min length is equal to 20, we ensure that the user provide a meaningful bio of at least 20 characters before the form validates. Next is the country selection. You will notice a professional trick here. We set the first option as a select your country and give it two specific attributes, disabled and selected. This creates a placeholder that the user sees first, but because it's disabled, they cannot choose it as a final answer. Combined with the required attribute on the select tag, it forces the user to pick a real country from the list. Now let's look at the birthday field. For date inputs, we can use the max attribute by setting a maximum date like today's date. We prevent user from accidentally picking a birthday date in the future. The browser will automatically gray out those future dates in the calendar picker. For the skill rating slider, we use the step attribute. If we set step is equal to 10, the slider will snap to increment of 10 instead of moving smoothly. This is perfect for when you want user to give a precise rating. When it comes to the profile picture, we add the accept attribute. By setting this to image /star, the file uploader will only highlight image files, preventing user from uploading the wrong file type. You can also add the multiple keyword if you want them to upload more than one photo. Now let's move down to the gender selection. By adding the required keyword to the first radio button, the browser understands that the entire group is mandatory. If the user tries to submit without picking a gender, the browser will ask for a selection. One important thing to remember in the code is the ID and the label. Notice that I have used male underscore radio and female underscore radio as a unique IDs. This is crucial because it allows the user to click on the text male or female to select the button, which is much better for user experience. Finally, we have our terms and condition checkbox. By adding the required attribute to this single checkbox, we ensure that the user physically checks this box before they can proceed. That brings us to the end of our advanced HTML form series. You now know how to build a form using modern input types and validate data like a professional developer. If this video helped you out, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps me create more coding tutorials like this one. In the next phase of our journey, we are going to start to CSS, where we will take this plain HTML form and turn it into a beautiful form, modern user interface. Thank you for your watching. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep coding, keep learning.